Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus Channel. Flags waving and sirens blaring are a common scene in numerous ceremonial processions or demonstrations. This includes the autocades or presidential motorcades, an event filled with complex protocols that focus on giving an outstanding spectacle and protecting the president and his entourage. Such a tradition goes back to the early 1900s, when President Theodore Roosevelt was the first to use a car as an official means of transport. They started getting enhanced protection over time, especially after World War II and the introduction of armored limos. New shielding technologies and materials were developed for such cars, adding 5-inch bulletproof glass and making them hermetically sealed vehicles. The latest presidential car, also called the Beast, was developed and custom built by Cadillac, with all the defensive measures and the capabilities to offer medical services for the president, including blood storage. Its armor is made of a mix of steel, aluminum, and ceramic materials, each focused on a different type of threat. To a lesser extent, this technology is also used for the rest of the presidential motorcade, which includes between 40 and 50 vehicles in its entirety. The motorcade can carry the president's spouse or children, press members, security, White House officials, and VIP guests. This protocol is defined and regulated by the Secret Service, by being one of the main actors in the caravan when executing logistics and implementing security measures. These services go beyond national affairs by also managing the movements of the country's senior officials when they travel abroad to attend events such as the G7 summit. In those cases, the Secret Service has the Air Force at its disposal to transport its equipment and personnel. Heavy cargo, such as official vehicles or communication gear, is transported using specialized aircraft, such as the Boeing C-17A Globemaster III. This ensures that the equipment remains under constant surveillance and is protected from potential threats throughout the journey. In any case, whether abroad or locally, the organization of the presidential motorcade follows a defined structure, maintained by the Secret Service and other government members. A route car and pilot car drive at the front of the entire motorcade. This is done to check the scheduled route in real time and help provide additional navigation to the fleet in case of any emergency changes. They are followed up by the lead car, who works as the brain of the operation and is the decision maker for the pack. All these vehicles are accompanied by law enforcement vehicles, also known as sweepers, usually police motorcycles and patrol cars. They keep the road clear so the motorcade can maintain a constant speed. The White House advance team is responsible for planning every scheduling of the president's trips at home and abroad in great detail. To achieve this, the team makes a survey trip, usually a month before the actual visit, to meet the foreign officials. A site survey is made to select all the potential locations the president could visit, creating the base schedule. Throughout this procedure, 13 to 15 White House agencies contribute to the plans, including communications, press, public liaison offices, and, as with any event involving the White House high-ups, the Secret Service. Once the president's travel itinerary is established, an advance team arrives at the locations to stay until the arrival of the main group. As a final procedure in the scheduling, the military office plans arrangements for Air Force One, the presidential helicopters, and the limousines, with the Secret Service establishing the motorcade routes. Thus, for these trips, one of the key pieces is Air Force One, the official name designated to any United States Air Force aircraft carrying the President of the United States. Using aircraft to transport the president began with Franklin D. Roosevelt aboard the Douglas Dolphin amphibian in 1933, later changed to a Douglas C-54 Skymaster during World War II. Post-war developments brought the use of jet engines, replacing piston-powered engines, with the Columbine 3 being the last presidential plane with that technology. With the arrival of jet airliners, Boeing became one of the main suppliers of presidential aircraft from the 1960s to the present. These planes started to receive the term SAM, or Special Air Mission, when the president was not in the airplane. For example, the latest plane used by Air Force One is the Boeing VC-25, a heavily modified Boeing 747-200B, and is codenamed SAM 28000. Still, among all the aircraft used as presidential transportation, one of the most emblematic is the historic SAM 26000. A modified Boeing 707 carried 8 presidents, from Kennedy to Clinton, and played an important role as a national symbol of the Cold War. Its iconic fuselage color design was developed by First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy and famous industrial designer Raymond Loewy. Its interior was equipped with all of the necessary instruments for the president to carry out his job while flying. The cockpit held storage spaces for equipment, including firearms and a safe for nuclear codes. A communication station allowed for the president and other key figures to communicate globally, while its presidential galley was used as a catering area for the president and his staff. Those features and another few technological improvements allowed the SAM 26000 to symbolize American diplomacy and power. While Air Force One is the iconic symbol of the president in the air, it has not been the only means of air transportation used. Marine One is the call sign of any helicopter used to carry the president on short trips. The Marine Helicopter Squadron 1, or HMX-1, which was in charge of transporting the President and Vice President using the Marine One. The first helicopters did not offer many advantages. However, the later versions became more useful. The latest aircraft can fly more than 150 miles per hour, featuring ballistic armor and anti-missile countermeasures. This is enhanced by their electromagnetic pulse protection in the event of a nuclear explosion. These characteristics of Marine One make the HMX one of the most relevant teams for the White House. HMX pilots receive special training to have the finest personnel to operate the aircraft. They become caretakers of this presidential asset and lead a group of 20 to 25 Marines. Besides taking care of the logistics related to the helicopter, the team also focuses on the maintenance operations of the helicopters. With their maintenance center in Quantico, the crew can work on almost any aircraft. The means of transportation used by the president are not only a means for the president to reach a destination, but are also a symbol of diplomatic power. The importance of these vehicles has resulted in the implementation of new technology in defense and communication issues. This reflects the commitment to presidential security that defines the United States' leadership role on the world stage. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.